Hi my friends, it's the 2nd of August 2020 and this is what happened to my beautiful papaya. It was growing on that small tree. There's one really persistent flying fox. It's hanging around at the moment. There's a colony of about 60 flying foxes here actually. And that's a real shame that have moved into the suburbs and they eat just about every fruit that they find. And there's one in particular that's, most of them aren't around at the moment, but there's one that's sort of hanging around and it's even eating green papayas. And this was on such a small plant. It was only growing on a 6-foot plant. It was only like 3 foot off the ground. But it found it and yeah, it's eaten half of it. So that's a terrible shame. And it's been so cold, so there's no insects around. So I just left it for a few days to ripen up a little bit more. And now I've accidentally left it too long. Now it's over soft and it's starting to rot. I should have shown you this a couple of days ago actually. But I'm hoping I can salvage a little bit. We'll just see, we'll give it a test. See, but yeah, but look, you know, nearly half of it's been chewed. I just found it laying on the ground. It's a real shame. So yeah, if anybody out there has any ideas about how to keep flying foxes off your fruit, you know, I've heard one way is to cage your trees, put a mesh cage around the papayas, which is a bit difficult, and maybe that's about the only way here, because these flying foxes are protected species, and we've got way too many in Australia because they've destroyed their habitat. The flying foxes have no habitat anymore. They've cleared too much forest, and all the local developers have chopped just huge amounts of forest down for housing developments and the rest of it, and they claim they're protecting the flying foxes, but they've got no habitat. So really there's just way too many landing in the suburbs, eating all their fruit in the suburbs and landing on farms. And causing the farmers huge amounts of problems, and I really think they need to be culled. Like, I'm not for killing things, but you know that they've already made the main big mistake is they took the habitat away. So it's a bit foolish really to protect the species, and there's just thousands of them that are just causing havoc everywhere. And if any people in any other countries have any ideas about how to get rid of flying foxes, I know in a lot of countries in Asia they'd just kill them and eat them, which is probably the best way, you know. I'd be interested to hear any comments from my friends overseas about what they do to get rid of flying foxes and how they catch them and eat them. Be interested to hear all of that. And yeah, I really think Australia's making a big mistake here. It's cost our farmers just massive amounts of money. The farmers that can afford it are netting their trees, and all it's doing is helping the multinationals. Really, it's just wiping out the Australian fruit industry and allowing the multinationals to import fruit in from overseas. So yeah, it seems like a war on farmers really. Just allowing just so many flying foxes to thrive in this country without habitat, you know. Anyway, I'll slice this piece off. Yeah, it has gone a bit too soft now, sadly. So I don't know if it's going to be much good. I'm hoping I'll get a bit out of it that'll be okay. And oh yeah, it's too far gone. It's gone rotten now. Look, it's leaking. Damn, you know. But even when it's fermented, it can be nice within reason. I'd be able to save a few of these seeds, I guess. Which I'll do that, but I'll cut this rotten bit off here. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I would have had a bit to eat if I didn't leave it so late, but now maybe I've lost the whole thing. So yeah, that is a pity. Yeah, it's just rotted right down now. It's very soft and squishy. Yeah, what a pity, folks. That was my beautiful big papaya. I don't know if this will be... That doesn't look too good. I guess I'll save these few seeds. From the middle, they say the seeds from the middle of the papaya are the best. So yeah, I'll save those and dry them out. But otherwise it's pretty gone. I'll give it a little taste. It could be okay. And here in the Brisbane area, actually, they say the flying foxes are spreading a virus. Though there hasn't been much talk about it for 10 years or so now, but it was this virus they called the Hendra Virus, named after an area in Brisbane City called Hendra. And it was apparently, I highlight apparently, because there's a lot of controversy about viruses if you get off the mainstream media and just check on the internet. But yeah, apparently it killed a few people and it killed a lot of horses. Yeah, and they called it the Hendra Virus, and it was apparently spread by flying foxes. And yeah, in my view, I think a lot of people, a lot of farmers and that would, and people in the suburbs would like to see these things culled. But they're protected now, so there's just very big fines for anyone who harms them. But yeah, any of my overseas friends in Indonesia or the Philippines or Thailand, or anywhere around there, if you have any ideas about what to do to keep flying foxes off your trees, and even what you're doing over there to trap them and kill them and eat them. I've heard they're very good eating. Apparently it's a very sweet meat. Anyway, yeah, there's a bit of a... Yeah, it's quite overripe, this papaya. I'll just try this little bit. It's probably going to be ghastly, but let's see. Oh no. Dang. The whole thing is too far gone. Look how soft it is. Like, I probably wouldn't make you sick, but it's sort of going alcohol-y. It's kind of fermented too much. Yeah, actually that piece wasn't too bad. Yeah, look how soft it is. What a shame. If I had have eaten it a few days ago, it might have been okay. So yeah, a lot of this is just way too soft. Way too soft and rotten. So yeah, that's the story of my beautiful papaya. It was such a nice fruit. And I would have got half of it if I was faster. But it wasn't quite ripe, and I thought there weren't any insects around because it's so cold, and I thought if I gave it a few days, but now I've given it a few too many days. I think it's been about 4 days since I've salvaged it off the ground, since it first got attacked. So, oh yeah, it's just so soft. That bit there's a little firm. That bit there's quite nice actually. That's like slightly fermented jelly. There's a firm bit. Oh yeah, that bit's quite nice. But yeah, that's all I got, a couple of teaspoons. Yeah, them's the breaks. I guess what do they say, forget losses, just keep planting. Just keep going at it. But yeah, there's about 60 flying foxes in this area, and they get all my ice cream bean. I've got a huge ice cream bean tree, but you know, I only get a few fruit off it these days. You know, maybe a small bucket of fruit. The flying foxes get everything else. And when I get more of these papaya, I'm going to have to really be watching it. And yeah, because it's illegal to kill them, I'm going to have to try to maybe have to stay awake at night to scare them away. Yeah, but yeah, would be interested. Any comments from my friends in Asia? What should you do to get rid of flying foxes? There was an Aussie farmer once that got caught. He stuck all these live wires. He crisscrossed all these live electrical wires above his fruit trees, and it just zapped the buggers, you know. And, you know, I'm a vegetarian, and I'm pro-life, but you know the problem is, yeah, there's no habitat. We've destroyed their habitat, their natural habitat, and then we're protecting the species. Like, there's just way too many of them, way too many in this country. They're causing a huge amount of damage. Now, hopefully one of these years, the government's finally going to agree and allow for a culling. There's just, you know, there's a massive imbalance now, because flying foxes are necessary for pollination in the forest, but you know, to let them just move in on people's fruit farms and into the suburbs and take everybody's food away, you know. That's what's happening. Oh, that bit was quite nice. It was quite perfect actually. So yeah, but just to allow, yeah, so many to just maraud us, and it's good for the people who control our government, the multinationals, the corporations, that they'll be very happy about them being a protected species, because it destroys our ability to grow our own food in this country, and then they just continue to import all the food at huge markups, you know, from mega farms, the mega farms that they own in third world countries, exploiting third world labour, growing on, yeah, massive farms with massive erosion and massive chemical use and massive waste, and then using massive amounts of fossil fuels to truck and ship this food over to us here, thousands of kilometres away. Yeah, so yeah, it's good for them. They like the flying foxes, I'm sure. It's good for their profit margins, but it's not good for us here in Australia. It's not good for the people of Australia. Yeah, parts of this is still quite good actually. It's not too far fermented. There's still sort of hard bits here that are very nice. I don't think it'll make me sick or anything. It's not too far gone. I've got rid of the worst bits. And just, yeah, but ooh, I don't know if I want any more of it. Yeah, that's about it. And see, yeah, it's not really as red as I wanted anyway. I wanted a strain that was a darker red, a darker, deeper red. And this one is not all that red, is it? I've had some other trees that are redder, that have a deeper, darker red. But yeah, there's unfortunately this seed, there's too much variation in it. Like I was saying before, I get a whole range of different trees from this seed. I can plant those seeds and I'll get long reds, and then I'll get short round reds. I'll get a whole range of things. But one thing interesting though is I've still not got one pure male. Every plant I've planted has been an hermaphrodite, and a very good hermaphrodite too. That's been like, you know, nearly every single, well, yeah, every single tree I've grown is like about 99% female or 95% female, and just enough male to self-pollinate themselves. There's been no pure males. So that's one thing that's good, but yeah, overall I'm disappointed with this seed. It's not what I wanted. I wanted a pure dwarf Thai, deep dark red with big long fruit. And I bought these seeds from Thailand, but yeah, it's not what I wanted. Anyway, so that's the story of my papaya, folks. Not so good. Fruit bat, the flying foxes, fruit bat attack. And the bugger, yeah, it got down real low, it found it. So it's just amazing they haven't found my dragon fruit yet. They just haven't clued onto it yet, but when they do, they'll be thrashing my dragon fruit too. Okay, well, thanks for watching, my friends. Hope I can show you some better fruit next time. Bye for now.